President Trump's latest polling shows his momentum growing in the 2024 GOP race. A new CBS News YouGov poll finds the former commander-in-chief with his largest lead ever in their poll, getting the approval of 62% of likely GOP voters. That's 46 points higher than his nearest competitor.
But there was a pretty interesting moment in a recent interview where Governor Desantis talked about Trump supporters. He used the words listless vessels.
But he wasn't talking about Trump supporters.
Hold on. I'm going to play it for everybody, and then you can go ahead. Let's listen.
A movement can't be about the personality of one individual. If all we are is listless vessels that's just supposed to follow, whatever happens to come down the pike on Truth Social every morning, that's not going to be a durable movement.
Everybody just saw there that there was a cut. You cut from the beginning of that quote to the listless vessels. You just did what the problem is. So everybody who just watched that, understand, go read the transcript.
Okay, fine.
And it be about the personality of one individual. If all we are is listless vessels that's just supposed to follow.
So we want to play for you his comments more or less in full. There's no cuts, in the middle. So you can get a sense of exactly what he was saying in this piece, and then we'll talk about it on the other side. Take a listen.
I think that we have a strand in our party that views supporting Trump as whether you are a rhino or not. And so you could be the most conservative person since sliced bread. Unless you're kissing his rear end, they will somehow call you a rhino. So it's been totally detached from principle and what you actually believe and results. And it's more about, just what faction you happen to do. So there'll be people who are huge Trump supporters, like in Congress, who have incredibly liberal left-wing records that's really just atrocious, and yet they're viewed as by some of these folks as really, really good. Then you have other people, like a Congressman Chip Roy, who's endorsed me, Congressman Thomas Massey. These guys have records of principle fighting the swamp that are second to none, and yet they will be attacked by some of these people and called rhinos. So it's just been totally detached from any type of substance, and ultimately, a movement can't be about the personality of one individual. The movement has got to be about what are you trying to achieve on behalf of the American people, and that's got to be based in principle. Because if you're not rooted in principle, if all we are is listless vessels that's just supposed to follow, whatever happens to come down the pike on Truth Social every morning, that's not going to be a durable movement.
Talk about not wanting to offend the Trump base, those MAGA voters. I want you to listen here to a portion of an interview that Governor Ron DeSantis did with the Florida Standard, in which he starts talking about, specifically here, Trump supporting members of Congress. Let's watch.
Movement can't be about the personality of one individual. If all we are is listless vessels that's just supposed to follow, whatever happens to come down the pike on Truth Social every morning, that's not going to be a durable movement.
There was a cut. You cut from the beginning of that quote to the listless vessels. You just did what the problem is.
Fake news. CNN, fake.